began. This here is St. Mary's Residential School in Mission, BC, where a lot of us were taken from our homes, from our families, from our culture, from our language, from our beautiful country, taken to this land here, to this school, this boarding school, where the only rules were the white man's rules. The Catholic Church, where they had full reign and abusing us every night. Mine is not an isolated story by far. This happened to many of us natives throughout North America. It's hard to look at the school now with those memories. I'd buried most of those memories for many years through drugs and alcohol. Upset my family, passed on to my kids. The intergenerational effect of my abuse was passed on. And our people suffered for it. There's got to be an end to this type of discrimination towards our people when we have so much respect for our land now and thrive to speak our language again. I remember at nighttime, the prefect there would get us all to line up to his room there, his little room where he stayed. We all had to go in there one by one to get sexually abused. He had full reign. He could do whatever he wants. It's a sad story. I just wanted to let you know. I'm from Skookumchuck. A lot of times when I tell it to some people, they look at me in bewilderment. What? Where's that? Not believing it as a real place. So I'd go on and on and on explaining to them where it was. You go here and here and here. But it was a real place. I grew up there. Grew up with my language and with my culture. We fished and hunted deer. My dad, my grandfather, he'd get the fish and they only spoke to me in my language, which I fluently understood. He'd preserve the fish by salting it, smoking it, canning it, wind drying it. We'd eat fish almost every day. All the people would work together. If a building needed to be built, we'd all get together and I'd watch them build it. If it was harvest time for the fruit and that, all the people would get together and we'd all hike the 5 miles to the orchard and pick all the fruit and that and walk back together as one unit. This was our utopia here. Then suddenly one day, when we always went to visit this boat to get some white supplies, salt, sugar, flour, milk. And they told me one day, you have to get on a boat. You're going to school. Well, I wasn't scared. I said, okay. So I got on a boat. Wow, to my surprise, seeing all the kids just crying so loudly. I could not understand why they were crying so hard. I took my seat on the boat. It was about a 2-hour ride. Other end there, we got picked up by this bus and a driver. He drove us to this building, brick mortar building, and that was going to be our school and our residence. So me being, this is all new to me, I said, oh wow, this is different. I'm living up in Skookumchuck there. Went to the back there, and there were some swings and playground there, and I said, wow. Got on a swing. I remember laying there with my hair, dragging it and swinging it in the mud, in the dirt. I said, wow, this is a nice place. So that evening came, though. I had to go inside, and this smelly old man sat me on this chair, and he cut off all my hair. Oh, did I feel weird. It's like taking something away from you. Your culture or something is taken away from you. Your memory. So we all, the boys, we all got our hair cut. Then that evening, we all had to line up to this man's bedroom. One by one, I seen the kids coming in and out. Some would come out crying and all that. It's now what's going on here. So it came my turn to go in there. And this man, he was doing bad things to us, sexually abusing us. This went on every night. Every night. We all, every night, line up, go in there. I don't know how he could do it. Sadistically get pleasure from all this. I tried to block it out, I guess. That's why I started losing my memory. Because if I spoke my language there, I'd get whipped. You get strapped so that you'll cry. Spoke your language, you have to hold the Bible like this, keep your arms up, and you're not allowed to let it go down. So I did that. After 3 years, I do not want to come back here. Told the school, says, it's not our decision. You have to go ask your parents. My parents had come to pick me up. So I told them, I do not want to come back to this school anymore. I was just like a 9-10-year-old boy. They said, you have to go ask the school. Okay, I went back to the school and asked them, I do not want to come back here. So we moved to town for a year. That was no better because my parents had gone through the same thing as I had. So they were in their drug and alcohol stage. Well, not drugs, but alcohol. So that was how, I guess, how the language was taken out of me. I'm striving to get it back, but working at it. And she's hali tiskatinam. Kukstumkach. Yeah, it was 60 years ago when I got shipped off to residential school. 66 now. It was a very sad day. All those kids who were brought down to this boat, they usually brought up supplies. All the kids who already went to school, they were crying their heads off. I had no idea what was going on. But parents told me to get on the boat too, and I'm going to school. So I got on the boat and off we went. The kids cried about halfway down the lake, crying hard. They knew what we were in for, what was going on. I didn't. Had to leave all this country here, and my language was left behind here too. That's what it's all about. How did they take away my language? Okay. This is our land, our home. Our way of life is right here. Mother Earth provides for us. Everything that we ever needed was right here. We got the trees for shelter. The wood for keeping our fires warm. The deer there, the elk there, to keep us fed. Plenty of fish. There used to be plenty of fish. And this is where I was taken away from. Harrison Lake right there. The boat came in, went over to that point over there, took us all the way to residential school. Like I said before, seen all the kids crying my very first time leaving here. I was sure and bewildered to why they were all crying so hard. But I was to find out the hard way. Sent to this residential school off in Mission there. Prior to that, I remember sitting by the fire there, listening to the elders speak in our language, telling the stories. At that time, I was fluent, I could understand them. Now when I listen to it, it feels like a foreign language to me. Some of the words are different. They've been taken out of me. By taking me away from here, bringing me to residential school, where sexual abuse, physical abuse was the way of life there. That is how they took the language away from me. Took me to school there. I spoke my language. They would put 2 Bibles on your hand. You have to stand like that. Not let the Bibles go down. So you're painted inside. That didn't work. They would take the straps and strap you so hard. You're too slow, they just pull you by the ear. So I lost my language that way. Most of it. We're forbidden to be a family at the school. Brothers and sisters, one spot. You know, we're separated. Putting in our own age groups. We all tolerated that. Because that was the way the life was then. That's the way it ended. We're leaving that behind now. A lot of our language coming back to our people, to myself. Striving every day to learn a few words. And I feel proud of it. I also feel proud to leave the intergenerational effect that it had on me behind. I look at my kids, my young ones, give them a smile, give them a song, give them a drum beat. They feel good coming, seeing it coming from me. They feel good, and I feel good. The way we say in our language, Ishashale tishkatinam, utasham fran. I'm a Troyes. Good thing we're here now. came back home to reset the ways of our people, to open up our culture again, proudly sing our songs that belong to our ancestors. The sound of a heartbeat, the drum, brings you out to want to dance. The youngsters sure love that. Glad that chapter is over. Glad to be home now. Find my inner peace amongst the forest here, amongst our rivers, amongst our mountains, amongst our blue sky. Thank you all for listening to me.